Go to the clip where he says what he said.
Cam Newton has a podcast, and Cam Newton, of course, was a tremendous player.
Don't give me no backhand compliments. Don't do that.
Because he said, yeah.
I'm not playing. Haven't played in 2 or 3 years.
Cam Newton, you had a worse career than Dak Prescott. They were able to pull up some stats. Let's just take a
press
glance.
pause right there. I was a dual threat quarterback. Add in rushing yards.
Rushing touchdown.
Add in rushing touchdowns.
Because who's number one as a quarterback?
They try to manipulate the narrative. Instead of speaking about what I said, they try to poke at the person. Jason, if I were to do my research on you personally, failed situations, got fired from a job, flunked out of college, if I really were to do that, then I will be evil.
You're the bully.
I'm the bully. Or I'm bitter.
Welcome to the Reed Report. I appreciate you guys for taking this time to hear me out here on the Reed Report. And today we got a topic that is a wee bit old, but it's still one that's relevant that I feel like I should approach. I mean, also because I never got a chance to talk about it at the time it was fresh, but we're going to still talk about it right here, right now. Now, as you all know, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. That's not much to brag about at this day and age, but I've been a Panther fan since about 2001, and I've always been a Carolina Panther fan. That's my team. That's who I roll with. I won't say no matter what, because there are limits to how far I will go with a team. But I say that to say I'm also a Cam Newton fan. Cam Newton, of course, was played for the Carolina Panthers. He was drafted to the Carolina Panthers back in 2011, the year after he led Auburn to a national championship. Panthers went 2-14, and they were on course to grab that number 1 overall draft pick, and that's exactly what they did. And with that pick, they drafted Cam Newton, who didn't immediately come in and start winning, but immediately came in and made an impact and started to turn the team around and started to, show flashes of what he was going to be. 2010, the year before we had Cam, team was horrible. I wasn't upset because I knew what we were getting with Cam Newton. So I was like, all right, this team, the Panthers, are just not good. They're just not a good football team, but we're about to get Cam Newton, so cool. On offense that year in 2010, the team scored 16 touchdowns on offense. I don't think they had a single game in which they scored more than 2 touchdowns. And if you scored just 16 touchdowns, that means you average just 1 per game, because there was 16 games back then. 17 now. They had 9 passing with multiple quarterbacks. I think Tony Pike, Jimmy Clausen, Matt Moore. They had probably about 3, maybe even more quarterbacks, but 3 I think at the most. And they only threw for a combined 9 touchdowns. And they only had 7 on the ground rushing. And they had 1 defensive touchdown. So that's 17 total touchdowns for the team. Anyway, long story short, Cam Newton comes in. The Panthers are not very good team-wise, not a good record, 6-10. But Cam, if you remember, threw for over 4,000 yards, which was a rookie record at the time. His first 2 games, he threw for 400 yards. Both losses, but they weren't a good team. But you also saw the impact he was making. But the main point about that is he accounted for 21 touchdowns through the air and 14 on the ground. 35 touchdowns combined, Cam Newton accounted for. And we all know what he went on to do after that. Took the team to 3 straight division championships and a Super Bowl appearance. 2 years later, his last playoff appearance with the Panthers. But he accounted for, like I said, 35 touchdowns, and now in his rookie year, and now everyone wants to, not everyone, but people now want to spin a narrative, and in doing so, spinning this narrative, they want to act as if Cam Newton was just this bust, was not an impactful player, was not a game changer because of what he said about Tua Tagovailoa, who's no longer in the playoffs, and nothing against Tua. What he said about Dak Prescott, who's no longer in the playoffs, and nothing against Dak. Because he called them game managers. And you saw how, I forgot, Kimberly something on ESPN. I don't watch that show. I just saw the clip on social media. But you saw how she went straight to his outfits and compared Cam Newton to the guys in the basement who come at her on Twitter saying that she need to go back in the kitchen and blah, blah, blah. We saw all of that. And we saw everybody got at her for coming at Cam Newton like that when all you had to do was address the points he made. Why are you making it personal? Has Cam Newton ever said anything about you personal? But the one main guy I wanted to talk about was this guy named, I think, Jason Mcintyre on The Herd. I think this was an episode where he was filling in for Colin Cowherd, as you guys saw the clip at the beginning of the show. He was filling in for Colin Cowherd, and then he immediately goes into Dak Prescott versus Cam Newton, saying that Dak Prescott had a better career than Cam Newton. That's not true at all. That's not true at all. Cam Newton, game changer. Dak Prescott, game manager. Nothing wrong with being a game manager. But it's like, I forgot who made the point. Or was it Cam himself on his show? Nobody's going into the draft. I think it was Cam himself saying, oh, I need to draft the next Dak Prescott. I need to draft the next Brock Purdy. I need to draft the next Tua Tagovailoa. But they are looking for the next Cam Newton. They are looking for the next Peyton Manning. They are looking for the next Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, of course. But he goes into this whole, and I don't want to spend too long, Dak had a better career than Cam Newton. And I know it's easy to pile on Dak because of what just happened, but hey, these are the facts. Dak Prescott has been with the Dallas Cowboys 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. He just wrapped up his 8th season with the Dallas Cowboys. He's been to the playoffs 5 times. His rookie year, they lost to the Green Bay Packers in the divisional round. They didn't make it in 2017. They beat Seattle in 2018 and lost to the Rams in the divisional round. 2019, 2020, they missed. We know Dak suffered that crazy, scary, horrific injury. 2021, hire Mike McCarthy, go to the divisional round, 12 wins, lose to the 49ers. 2022, wild card team beats the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady retires, goes to San Francisco, lose to the 49ers. I'm sensing a trend here. This year, 2023, win the division, 12 wins again, go to the wild card round and lose to a 7-seeded Green Bay Packers. Add all of that up, he's 2-5 in the playoffs. This one is simplistic. That is because it's just what it is. Dak Prescott plays for the more popular franchise. He plays for the Dallas Cowboys, the most valuable franchise. Everybody knows the Dallas Cowboys. If you survey 100 fans that don't watch football, don't care about football, I'm only here watching the Super Bowl for the halftime show type people, majority of them will tell you that the Dallas Cowboys are an NFL team. That's how well known they are. You survey those same fans and ask who the Carolina Panthers are, they'll tell you that they have a nephew or something who plays for their middle school called the Panthers. Nobody really knows the Carolina Panthers. So yes, Dak played for the more valuable franchise, the most popular franchise. He's going to get the most media coverage. He's going to be seen the most, talked about the most. He's going to have the most national televised games. But he was not a better quarterback. Cam Newton took the Panthers to the playoffs in year 3. Year 3 took the Panthers to the playoffs. Started 1-3, finished the season 12-4, lost to the Niners in the divisional round. 2013, 2014, win the division, beat the Arizona Cardinals in the wild card round, go to Seattle, lose in the division round. 2015, a season that no one saw coming. No one really saw coming. Lose Calvin Benjamin in preseason, in offseason, or whatever. And if you would have told anyone, hey, the Panthers are going to start this season 14-0, they're going to lose a game and Cam is going to win MVP and they're going to be in the Super Bowl, people would have laughed at me. Anyone would have taken me on that bet. But he beats Seattle in a divisional round, beats the Cardinals in the NFC Championship, and they lay it on Arizona. They were laying it on Seattle, but Seattle eventually came back. They just ran out of time. But he dominated that NFC Championship game. Went to the Super Bowl. That didn't go as planned, but he was in the Super Bowl. He won MVP, Mr. Jason Mcintyre. He accounted for like 45 touchdowns that season. Name Cam's receiving core in comparison to Dak Prescott's. We got Greg Olsen. We also had Jericho Cotchery. Ted Ginn Jr. He was fast, but he dropped balls. He dropped the ball a lot. But you can't really name. We didn't have Smitty during that year, Steve Smith. He was in Baltimore by then. Maybe if we had him during that Super Bowl run, it would have probably been a lot different. But we didn't have Smitty. So this whole Dak had a better career than Cam, it's just not true. Dak 2-5 in the playoffs. Cam Newton won 2 postseason games in just 2015 alone. And he has what? Of course it's not. And Cam has been to the playoffs 4 times. Dak has been 1 time more at 5. Yes, Cam has not run away with the playoffs. Like he lost to San Francisco 2013, beat Arizona 2014, lost to Seattle the very next round, 2014. 2015, beat Seattle, beat Arizona. And then lost to Denver, so that counts as well. That was a Super Bowl. And then lost to New Orleans in 2017, his last playoff appearance. So 3-4. 3-4 playoff record. No, it's nothing to sneeze at. But the fact of the matter is, he has gotten his team to the Super Bowl. Dak has been in Dallas for 8 seasons and has never made it to a conference championship. Dak has never won MVP. And that's all the ammunition I need. But he want to go pull up these stats and just like we saw in the clip, just totally negates the fact that Cam Newton was a dual threat. You cannot take that ability away from him because that's what he had. That's what he had. That's what Lamar Jackson has. So you can try to scoff at Lamar throwing 24 touchdowns and try to negate what he did on with his legs. Probably not that much this season, but numbers are down across the board, not just for him, but for a lot of players. You can't take away that because Dak doesn't have that ability. That's like me comparing Brady and Cam Newton stats and only showing Brady only his rushing, you know what I'm saying, his rushing stats, and then comparing that to Cam's rushing stats. But overall, I'm trying to compare them as quarterbacks, but I'm not showing you what Brady did through the air. I'm only showing you his rushing, which is nothing compared to Cam Newton. That's what he tried to do, the bias. Just completely no objectivity is why people don't take these people serious. Why people are coming to YouTube to see people who will speak the truth. Completely. And it's like, why are we taking these little digs at Cam Newton? Why we got to go to the outfits and comparing him to people in the basement at home watching TV? The question is, what did Cam do to you? Why can't he have his opinion on his podcast? Are you scared? Is he a threat to you? Because it's absolutely true, and I'm about to get up out of here now, what Cam said. He can go and dig up your failures. Dig up the jobs you got fired at. Your shortcomings. But again, he will be classified as bitter, the bad guy. Oh, Cam, now you're making it personal. Now you're just being disrespectful. As if this man didn't have a great career. Sure, it didn't end the way I wanted it to end. I wanted a Super Bowl. I was disappointed with how 2021 ended in general. When we signed Cam back and we were like 5-5, and then we just, or whatever, still had a shot to make the playoffs, and we just couldn't win the game down the stretch of the season. You know what I'm saying? Even in 2018, where we started 6-2, and we ain't been right since that Thursday night game against the Steelers, where we lost like 50-something to 21, when TJ Watt blasted Cam in the shoulder, when Cam just couldn't throw the ball down the field, and we lost all but one game after that 6-2 start. We were on track that season to do something special. When everybody was talking about Rams and Saints, the Panthers were right there in the mix. He just got injured, and we've been down ever since. The franchise ain't been right since. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But I just wanted to get that out, because when you see the narratives and they don't acknowledge their you know what I'm saying, just when you see the narratives, it's just sad. It just reinforces the point on why people are stepping away from watching these guys, because they're not honest. They're not truthful at all. There's just no truth in them. But appreciate you guys taking this time to hear me out. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. And we got the later this evening at 6 p.m. we got the divisional round predictions coming out. So stay tuned for that. That will be premiering at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So enjoy that, and let me know what you guys think, who you guys got winning the playoff games, and we'll talk soon. So until then, just take care, everybody, and yeah, be safe.